This video is a quick demonstration of a free Ableton Live instrument I made, which is available for download on my website. The link is in the description of this video, or just go to lynchaudio.com and scroll over the Presets and Patches tab at the top. When you download the zip and unpack it, open the project, and just save the rack to your own library by clicking the Save icon at the top of the rack. Let's take a listen to what the synth sounds like, and I'll tweak some of the parameters of the rack while it plays. This sound is a synth lead built out of individually sampled notes from a patch off Korg's iconic synth, the MicroKORG. I got the multi-sample collection by way of free download from voltagecontrolled.com. Dan from Voltage Controlled has made a great 1 GB sample library available, and there are a few multi-sample collections in there, as well as great one-shots, loops, glitched out toy samples, and waveforms. Everyone should go grab this collection from him and follow his blog. Links are in the description of this video. Okay, so to the instrument. If I unfold the instrument and go to the sampler within, you'll see that I've got 3 octaves of the synth with a sample for every note. So this instrument's going to sound best played between C2 and C5, but it still sounds pretty good played beyond that range. So now let's jump back to the macro controls before I explain the effects. I have the attack, decay, sustain, and release of the sampler mapped to macros, so you can quickly turn the sound into a sustained note or a little plucky sound just by twisting the macros. See how each of these parameters are grayed out on the device and they have a little green box on them? That signifies that they have been mapped to a macro. You can then in turn assign these macros to a MIDI controller, like so. Click the MIDI box at the top of the screen, click the parameter you'd like to control, and turn a knob on your connected MIDI controller or keyboard. Do the same for all the parameters you want to control, and then unclick the MIDI map box. Now you're controlling these parameters without having to look at or unfold the device. Now let's look at the effects I've added as capabilities. On the left, named Punch, we have a multiband compressor preset that I didn't really tweak, I just thought it added a cool characteristic to the sound when used. The amount of the effect is mapped to the macro. Next we have a bit crusher with the downsample set to soft and mapped to a macro named Crush. Next we have a ping pong delay with the division set to 3/16, the feedback set to 60%, and the dry wet mapped to the macro named Delay. Next we have a filter delay that's being used in a slightly unusual way. The on-off of the device has been mapped to the macro named Enhance. 0 is off, and anything above 0 is on, so there's no further control. The filter delay is set so that the filters are off, and the left plus right channel is also off. The delay times are set to time rather than sync, and the times themselves are set to be very, very small values, but are different from each other. What this trick does is fattens up the sound of an instrument by causing the left and right channels to delay at an almost imperceivable difference. So instead of sounding like a delay, we just hear a bigger sound. Try playing the sound with the effect on and then off, and you'll definitely notice a difference. So that's the rack. Take it, mess with it, map different parameters to new macros in another rack if you want. There are plenty of things I did not build in control over, like the feedback or the bandpass settings of the filter delay, or the bit reduction on the crusher, so use it as it is or take it really far out there. Again, thanks to Dan at Voltage Controlled for the samples, and stay tuned for more free Ableton racks.